Today I'm going to show you guys how to make my very favorite chocolate cake. Hi, welcome to Cake Mom. I'm Abby, this is Emery, and over there is Aaliyah, and on this channel, I share with you guys some of my favorite tips and techniques, as well as recipes to help you with your home baking projects. If you're new here or haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel and hitting the notifications bell so that you can see when I post my next video. Today, I wanted to share with you my very favorite chocolate cake recipe. It's a classic chocolate sponge cake, but it is seriously a crowd pleaser and works with any cake that you want to make chocolatey and delicious. And the recipe, as always, will be in the description below, but here's what you will need to make this cake. You will need some all-purpose flour, some granulated sugar, salted butter, softened to room temperature, 4 eggs, cocoa powder mixed with either boiling water or hot coffee, vanilla, baking soda, baking powder, and salt. You're going to start with creaming your room temperature butter and sugar together until they are light and fluffy. Now this will probably take longer than you think it will, probably about a minute or so. But you want to make sure they're very light and fluffy because that is part of what makes a nice, soft, spongy, and delicious cake. Start with room temperature butter in an electric stand mixer. Yeah, you're gonna help, Aaliyah.
Yeah.
And granulated sugar. Just pour it in the same bowl. Now, you want to use the paddle attachment for this cake, not the whisk attachment.
I can do it. I can do it.
Now, kick your mixer up to medium-high speed for approximately 1 minute. Now you want to scrape down the sides of your mixing bowl. Make sure you go all the way to the bottom so that you don't have any weird chunks anywhere. So now you want to add your eggs one at a time and make sure you beat well in between each addition until it is fully incorporated. Then you will want to whip those eggs and butter and sugar until it is very light and fluffy. This will once again probably take about a minute or longer than you'd expect it to. Good job. You want to make sure you go ahead and scrape down the sides of your mixture once again because you don't want anything left unincorporated. So now go ahead and combine your dry ingredients together. So you will want to take your baking soda, baking powder, and salt and add it to your flour. And whisk it up. Can you whisk it? You gotta stir it all together like that. Next, you will want to add your dry ingredients and your wet ingredients alternately, starting and ending with your dry ingredients. Make sure that your mixer stays on low throughout this process because 1, it will make a mess, and 2, it will make your cake tough and chewy if it gets overmixed. So keep it on low. So last but not least, you want to add your pure vanilla extract and kick your mixer up to medium-high speed for about 30 seconds just to make sure everything is well incorporated. Now you want to evenly divide your cake batter between 3 prepared 9-inch cake pans. You want to butter them, flour them, and line them with a piece of parchment paper on the bottom. So now go ahead and tap your cake pans to even out your batter and get rid of any extra air bubbles. And then you will want to bake these cakes at 350 degrees for approximately 25 to 30 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted into the center of the cake comes out completely clean. Then go ahead and cool these completely before you try to decorate. So our cakes have finished they've cooled completely, I went ahead and froze them because I'm going to stack them and fill them with some vanilla American buttercream and some homemade orange curd, which I'm going to share a video on that, and it'll be in the cards right up here. What I like to do to start is put a little bit of buttercream on my cake board, and I always make sure I have some kind of a rubbery surface underneath my cake board so it sticks to my turntable. And yes, you can do this without a turntable, but it's a lot easier with one. Put your first cake layer down, but make sure you take the parchment paper off. Then just smooth on some buttercream. Just a very thin layer on this part. And I've put some buttercream in this piping bag, just a round tip, or you can cut the tip off of the piping bag just because you want to make a border to hold your curd in so it doesn't all just splooch out the sides. Does that make sense? You don't want your border to be too tall, but you want it wide enough to hold everything in. So try to make it wide and kind of short. And then a scoop of orange curd. Now I'm just going to repeat the same steps for the next 2 layers of cake, and then I'm going to crumb coat the outside of my cake so that I don't get any crumbs in my final frosting. Alright, so the crumb coat has chilled completely. It's nice and hard. So we can now frost the outside of this cake. So I'm just gonna take some more buttercream and smooth it out. And honestly, I don't like a whole lot of buttercream, and since my cake is very cold, I start with a little bit and spread it out because I don't want it to get hard before I can finish working with it. There it is, my perfect, easy, and very favorite chocolate cake recipe. This recipe is super customizable. You can make it gluten-free or vegan, or you could use some activated charcoal to make this cake a black velvet cake. Check it out, I made a video on how to do it right here if you would like to try that out. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it, please leave a comment, and please share it with all of your friends. If you're new and you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel and hitting the notifications bell so that you can see when I post my next video. Have a great day.